signal is defined as A sin omega 0 t. Only the difference is that some phase shift is there. The phase shift is the 90 degree, right? So another thing, same notations already madam has discussed. So this is the things what happens in the figure. We can find that. So two signals we are generating. One is the cos, the upper one is the cos, the lower one is the sine signal. So the only difference is that always the signal must have some phase shift. The phase shift is constant always, that is 90 degree. So these things we know in case of the generalized thing. Similarly, what happens if we want to know the what is the amplitude, what is the wavelength, what is the phase, you can see this diagram. So now what happens, if I am decreasing the amplitude, this value is decreasing. If I am decreasing the wavelength, the what happens, frequency will be increase, decrease. Similarly, phase also you can increase, decrease. So these are the three main parameters of any sinusoidal signal. Remember these things, that is amplitude, frequency and phase. So these things already we have discussed in the previous classes. So now coming to the mathematical operations of the signal. So now what happens, for mathematical operations, there are three basic things are there. What are the basic things we will see. So generally we can find plenty of mathematical operations are there, but we can, by using these three basic things, we can do almost all the operations. So the basic things are, one is scaling, the next one is shifting, the last one is folding, time folding, or we will see what is the classification will be there, we will see. But before this what happens, let us see the operations one by one. Again I am telling, this is very important for the building a strong base in signal and system. So now see what happens, we will go for the scaling operation of the signal. So scaling of continuous time signal. So now see, there are two types of scaling operations are there. So what are the scaling operations? One is known as the amplitude scaling, the next is known as the time scaling. So we will start from the scaling operations. So the first scaling is known as the amplitude scaling, the next scaling is known as the time scaling. So now see, let us first, what is amplitude scaling? These things we know, everyone know that what is amplitude scaling. So let us know these things. The amplitude scaling is performed by multiplying a amplitude of a signal by a constant. So now see what happens. I can show you this signal I have taken as x of t. What is the amplitude here? The amplitude is 2. This is your time axis, right? So I have taken a signal whose amplitude is 2 and the signal is from, let I am taking the signal is from in time domain minus 2 to 2. This is a signal I have taken now. So now what happens, we have to find out the amplitude scaling. Means what happens, the amplitude scaling is nothing but we have to multiply a constant with the signal. So if I am multiplying a constant 2 with the signal, now what we can find here? See, we can find here like this, the time will be remains constant. There will be no change in the time, same minus 2 to 2, whereas we can find the amplitude will be doubled, that is 4. So now remember these things, that if we will go for the amplitude scaling, we can find that the signal is amplified. The amplitude is now increasing. So we can tell that a amplifier can be used as a amplitude scaler, right? So we are only increasing the amplitude of the signal. Similarly, in the second case what happens, we have taken 0.5 xt. So what we can get here, time domain same thing, minus 2 to 2. In this case remember that the time will not change, only the amplitude will change. So now what happens, when we will write this 0.5, or you can write 1 by 2 xt. So now what happens, the amplitude will scale to half. So previously the original signal, the amplitude was 2, now the amplitude is 1. So remember these things, this is a very simple thing is that the amplitude scaling can be done by only the amplitude. At that time, the time remains constant. we cannot touch the time. Time will be same only. So if we amplitude scale the signal, the device can do, or the device which can do the increase amplitude scaling is known as the amplifier, whereas the next one is the attenuator. So these things you can see now. So in this case, what I have taken here, let x of t be a continuous time signal, then a into x of t is the scale version of x of t, where a is a constant. Already I have discussed these things. So what I have discussed, that if we multiply a signal with only a constant with the amplitude, then it is known as the amplitude scaling. So now what happens, a may be greater than 1 or a may be less than 1. So in this case, in the first case, we have taken that the value of a equal to 2, which one is greater than 1. In the second case, we have taken the a is less than 1, that is 0.5. So let us now see, if a is greater than 1, what is the function? If a is less than 1, what is the function? So now see, when a is greater than 1, amplitude magnified, and when a is less than 1, it is known as the amplitude attenuated. So we can tell that when a is greater than 1, this is amplitude magnified or amplifier, we can do these things. Whereas if a is less than 1, that is signal is attenuated, or you can tell that the device which can do the operation is nothing but the attenuator. So this is the things we can see for the first operations. What is the first operation? That is the amplitude scaling operation of a signal. This is very easy. This all we know these things, the amplitude scaling, because we are using. So let we are taking a amplifier or sound box, right? So what we are doing here, I am telling something, the volume is increasing, right? So the volume increase means what? You can tell that there we are using an amplifier. Very simple thing, where the constant value is greater than 1. So another example also I have taken here, same thing. So this is the signal I have taken for a rectangular signal. Remember these things. This signal is known as a rectangular signal. So different types of signals I will take here. So I may take a signal maybe or like this. We will discuss these things later on. This is a rectangular signal. Similarly, I can take an example of a triangular signal, or I can take a sinusoidal signal to make you understand the operations. We can take anything. So coming to the next example, what we have taken? We have taken a signal, original signal is the x of t, right? So now what happens, if we are taking alpha is the amplitude scalar here, so y1 t, what we are getting? The amplitude 1 is going to 0.5. You can see these things. Now 1, previously 1 was there, now it is going to 0.5. So where alpha value equal to 0.5 means the signal is now attenuated. The value of alpha is less than 1. The next case what happens? We have taken alpha equal to 1.5, whose value is greater than 1 means signal is amplified. See the diagram, it is showing that the amplitude is more here. So these are the basic operation we can do. That is, first operation is the amplitude scaling, right? So now let us see the second operation on scaling. That is nothing but the time scaling. So let us see, time scaling is also very important, because we have to see how the signal changes, its time domain changes. So in case of the time scaling, but remember that when we are doing the time scaling, at that time the amplitude remains constant. We will not touch the amplitude. What? We will play with the time only. We cannot touch the amplitude. Remember these things. Similarly, when we are doing the amplitude scaling, at that time we are playing with the amplitude. At that time we have not touched the time. This is same thing also here. So when we will do the time scaling, at that time amplitude remains constant. Only we will play with the time, right? So let us see these things. So time scaling is performed by multiplying the variable time by a constant. Previously what we have discussed in the amplitude scaling, there we are multiplying a constant with the amplitude, whereas for time scaling we are multiplying a constant with time, right? So now see what happens. We will see how time will be multiplied. If the multiplication factor or constant is greater than 1, how the signal behaves. Similarly, if the time or multiplication factor is less than 1, we will see how the signal behaves. This is very important. Don't confuse these things. So now see what happens. I have written the definition of the time scaling. If x of t is a continuous time signal, then x of at is the time scaling version of xt, where a is the constant. So what you can do now, see, we can take a is the multiplication factor. How we can do these things? So the value of a may be greater than 1 or the value of a may be less than 1. So let us see these things, how it will behave. So when the value of a is greater than 1, then we can tell that the time compressed version of the x of t. So let us take an example now. So if I am taking the example here, see, the first signal whatever I have considered is a signal of x of t. So what is the time here? Time is from -2 to 2. This x axis represents the time. So time is now x of t equal to, or time ranges from -2 to 2. So now what we have to do here, we have to find out the x of 2t. So now see what I told you, this function we are doing, that is x of at. A means what happens? The scaling of time, right? So now what happens? What is the value of a now? In this case the value of a equal to, we can write a equal to 2. This is a very simple thing. So now see what happens. If I am taking like this, so the signal will be compressed. So how can you know these things? So now what happens? This very simple thing I am telling here. There are 2 time factors are there, or 3 time factors are there for the signal. You can take, assume here. So what is the factor here? One is 2, the next one is -2, or you can take middle one is 0. You can take. So now what happens? Now we are changing. We are going from t to 2t. Previously the signal was x of t. So now what happens? We are changing the time domain t to 2t. So very simple, what we can take? We can take that for this instant, we can take that 2t is equal to 2. So for this instant, we can take that 2t equal to 2. So what is the value of t now? T is coming 1. So now see, the value is coming here 1. Similarly, for this instant, we can take 2t is equal to -2. So what is the value of t is coming now? T is coming -1. So now what happens? The new value of the signal, the new value of time of the signal is going from -1 to 1. So very basic thing, in the first example we have seen that if the value of a or the scaling factor is greater than 1, at that time the signal will be compressed in the time domain. If the signal was previously like this, it will be compressed in the time domain when the value of t is, when the value of a is greater than 1, right? Similarly, what happens? Coming to the second example. The second example what I have taken here, t equal to 0.5 or 1/2. Second example we have taken, a equal to, in the second example we have taken a equal to 1/2. So now what happens? What we can do now? Same thing you can do. Now I can take that t/2 is equal to 2. Can I take like this? Because now what happens? We have to find out the value of x of t/2. So this t/2 equal to 2. So what is the value of t now coming? T is coming here 4. This is a very simple thing. Similarly, what happens? For this point, we can take t/2 equal to -2. So t will become here, new t will be here -4. So now what happens? When the value of a equal to 1/2 or less than 1, the signal will be expanded. So this is the things we have to know, how the signal behaves when the signal is scaled in the time domain or in the time. So there are 2 types of behavior of the signals is present, that is signal may expand or the signal may compressed in the time domain depending upon the value of A, right. So now we can also take the different examples. In this case what happens, same thing I have done by using a triangular signal. So what we have known here, or what we have taken here, the first case we have taken here x of t, right. So next case what we are getting here, x of 2t. So what the difference, what you can do, already I have told you. So now time domain t changing from t to 2t. So this point can be taken as your 2t is equal to 1. So t is coming here 1 by 2, it is going here. Similarly for this point we can write 2t is equal to minus 1. So t equal to minus 1 by 2. This point will go here. So that the new value of t will be now from minus 1 by 2 to 1 by 2, minus 0.5 to 0.5 with the amplitude remains constant, it will not change. These things you have to remember. Similarly, when the case for 1 by 2, already we have know that signal will be expanded in the time domain. The signal is now expanding in the time domain. Previously it was from minus 1 to 1, now it is from minus 2 to 2. So this is about the time scaling. Again I have taken a generalized figure where what happens, to make you understand this point, to make you understand this last point, that is when A is greater than 1, signal will be compressed in the time domain or x of t. When A is less than 1, signal will be expanded in the x of t. So to make you understand, I have taken this example now. So previously f of t I have taken, next f of at, at last f of at with A is greater than 1 here, A is less than 1. So now what we can find here, when A is greater than 1, signal is compressed in the time domain, but when A is less than 1, signal is expanded in the time domain. So these things we have to remember. These are the basic things of the signal operations. So till now what I have discussed, the scaling operations are of two types. One is amplitude scaling and the time scaling. Amplitude scaling can be done by two ways. That is, what we can do the scaling, I am writing two types. One is amplitude scaling and time scaling, right. In case of the amplitude scaling, it is also two types depending upon the value of A. So when A is greater than 1, signal will be amplified. When A is less than 1, signal will be attenuated. Right. Similarly, for time also we are getting two things. Here also we can find. So if I have taken a signal x of t, remember these things. This will be your A x of t. This will be x of at. Don't confuse how scaling is done here. So one is your A into x of t, second one is x of at. So in this case also what happens, we can find the two types of scaling here. When A is greater than 1, signal will be compressed. I am writing COMP, stands for the compressed. Similarly, when A is less than 1, signal will be expanded. Right. So this is the overall things what till now we have discussed, and this is known as the scaling operation of a signal. Right. So coming to the next operation is known as the folding operation of continuous time signal. It is known as the folding or time reversal of a signal, right. So now see what is this. This is also very easy thing. So the folding of a continuous time signal x of t is performed by changing the time base t of a signal. So now what happens, what we can write. So let us see, I will tell these things. The folding produces a signal x of minus t which is the mirror image of original signal with respect to the time origin t equal to 0. So, now what happens? We can relate, I am writing like this, I am writing a signal x of t. So, if I want to do the folding operation, or if I want to do the time reversal operation, at the time what you can do here, that is x of minus t. Very simple thing. So, now what happens? We have to fold the signal, we have to rotate the signal about the y axis, right. So, now how can done? I have taken an example here. So, previously x of t was from 0 to 2 in the time domain. Previously x of t was from 0 to 2 in the time domain. So, if I want to find the x of minus t, then what happens? Just we have to see the mirror image, just we have to rotate the signal in the y axis, about the y axis or about the origin, so that what we will get, the signal is now going to the minus 2. So, this point is coming to the now minus 2, very simple thing. So, we can tell that now if we want to find the folding of a signal, just rotate the signal about the y axis, this is time folding, right. Similarly, also we can find the amplitude folding about the x axis, but this is not necessary for us. So, but thing is that what happens, by using the time folding, we have to rotate the signal about the y axis. I can also tell a simple example here. Let I have taken a signal like this. So, the signal range from minus 2 to 4, right. So, now what happens, I have to find out the value of x of minus t. How to find? We have to rotate the signal about the y axis, we rotate. If we rotate the signal, means what happens? Now, if I draw the signal, this 4 will come to minus 4 and minus 2 will go to your 2. So, what will get now? This is time, this is x of minus t, but remember that the amplitude remains constant here. So, if the amplitude was previously 2 unit, now also this is 2 unit, no change, only what happens, the time domain will be changed here. The time domain we have to rotate, we have to fold, we have to reverse, so only the time domain. We cannot touch the amplitude of the signal, only we have to play with the time of the signal, because I have taken here like this time, this is known as the time folding also, time folding, or time, we can write this time reversal, anything you can do. So, this is the next operation of a signal. So, again I am telling, till now I have discussed the 3 things. One is the amplitude scaling, the next one is the time scaling. In amplitude scaling, signal may be amplified or attenuated depending upon the value of A. The next thing what happens, what I have discussed is that time scaling, here the signal may be expanded or compressed. If the value of A is greater than 1, signal will be compressed. If the value of A is less than 1, signal will be expanded. The third thing what we have discussed is the time reversal, where the signal we have to rotate about the y axis. Simple thing what happens, we can project the signal, we can find the mirror image of the signal about the y axis. So, that this 4 is coming to minus 4, minus 2 is going to your 2. These are the things. Now, coming to the next operations, the shifting. Again also what happens, shifting can be done in the both way, that is amplitude and time, but our focus is on the time. Amplitude we can do by using the addition operation. So, no need to do these things by. So, amplitude shifting we can do, I will tell. So, I will give a simple example what is the amplitude shifting, but our main focus is on the time. So, now what happens, the time shifting of a constant time signal is performed by replacing the independent variable t by t minus m. This is most important now. So, now what happens, we are now changing the variable time t to t minus m. So, now we will see that how the signal will be shift on the x-axis or time axis. In this case also the amplitude remains constant as we are doing some operation on the time axis. Second one is now see, thus the time shifted signal x of t minus m, where m represents the time shift in second. So generally what happens now, see what happens, as I am doing some time operation, time shift operation, t must be in the second. We have to we have to take m in the second, right. So now see what happens, we may take m may be positive or negative, right. So now what happens, if m is positive, then it is known as the delayed signal or it will shift towards the right. I will tell these things. Similarly what happens, for x of t minus m, if m is negative, it is known as the advanced signal and it will be shift towards the left. So now what happens, simple example I have taken here, x of t. So what is the value of x of t? X of t, the time is from -1 to 3. Now what happens, I have to find out the value of x of t minus 4, right. We have to find out the value of x of t minus 4. So now let us see how the signal will be shift. Now see, I will tell the procedure, but before going to the procedure, so how a layman can do these things. Simple thing what we can do here, you can do like this. So now previously time t was there, now we are changing t to t minus 4. Just take here, for this point take t minus 4 is equal to -1, right. So we are changing, we are focusing the domain t to t minus 4. So now you can take like this, t minus 4 equal to -1 for this point. So what is the new value of t now coming? T is coming now 3. Right. Similarly what I can do here now, we can do here for this point I can take t minus 4 is equal to 3. So what is the value of new t? T is equal to 7, right. So I can take this value also, t minus 4 equal to 0. The new value of t will be, that is 4. We can represent the origin, no, this is your choice, but I have to show these things I have written here. So now what happens, now this initial point is going to the 3, the final point is going to the 7. So what we can find now, see, we can find these things. So 3 to 7. So now we can tell that now our signal is shifting towards the right, because in this case when the value of m for x of t minus m, if m is positive, then what happens, signal is shift towards the right. These are things there. So for, or you can take, so if you are confusing, you also you can take like this, for x of simply t plus minus k, I can take